one of the things you have to keep in mind, or that I like to keep in mind for myself, that people can only come at you from their level of understanding. The last video I did, there were a lot of comments talking about the symbol that I had in the background, saying certain things are evil and that I need to repent. But that comes from a misunderstanding. That comes from a level of ignorance. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Ron's Library and Ideas. Thank you for tuning in. To all the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. To the first time viewers, thank you for tuning in. To the last time viewers, thank you for your time. Now I know ideas are a powerful thing, and on this channel it is my goal to share my ideas of the things that I come across, to hopefully that'll spark something inside of you to where you're going to want to make some type of change within yourself. You know, Michael Jackson said it best. He said, "I'm starting with the man in the mirror," because ultimately that's the only person you have control over, is the person that you see in the mirror, which is yourself. Now today's talk is going to be about symbols. Powerful symbols that we see within our everyday life, and the symbols we don't pay so much attention to. Right now, Kyrie Irving is he's still in the media. He's still being vilified. I've been hearing a whole lot less about Kanye, but the reason that we're seeing so much about Kyrie is because of the symbol that he represents. You know, entertainment is a great way to keep the masses of people distracted. And if you start having entertainers start to think for themselves and go against the grain of what they should do or what they're supposed to do, that presents a problem to the powers that be, because we look up to our entertainers. We live vicariously through them. The things that they do, we want to imitate. So Kyrie going to discover his heritage and talking about this film or book, Hebrews to Negroes, that's scary to the powers that be, because they don't want other people to be inspired to do that same thing. I'm going to be reading from a couple of different books. This one is called The Tao of Power, Lao Tzu's Classic Guide to Leadership, Influence, and Excellence. So let's start off with this. Now, this is called self-mastery. Those who know others are intelligent. Those who know themselves have insight. Those who master others have force. Those who master themselves have strength. Those who know what is enough are wealthy. Those who persevere have direction. Those who maintain their position endure. And those who die and yet do not perish live on. Self-knowledge and self-mastery are the primary Taoist accomplishments. They are achieved when individuals cultivate the inner mind, refining their instincts and intuitive responses to the world. The result is insight, the ability to perceive the larger influences behind specific social phenomena. To know the inner mind and perceive its connection with the evolving mind of the universe is the foundation for foresight and lasting influence. Through inner knowledge, one develops the ability to alter the world through small, effortless actions at the very beginning of events. It is essential to discriminate between clever force and insightful strength, for only the latter will not meet with resistance or cause counter-reactions. Those who die and yet do not perish are those who leave the affairs of the world in a more evolved state than they found them. You know, we each have a task to better ourselves when we come down here. And that path to bettering yourself is going to be different for every individual. But through that path to bettering ourselves, we in turn better the world. And you know, media make it seem like we need all these millions of people to get on board to affect some real change, but that's not the case at all. You can change your entire world by changing yourself, changing your small little actions. One of the things you have to keep in mind, or that I like to keep in mind for myself, that people can only come at you from their level of understanding. The last video I did, there were a lot of comments talking about the symbol that I had in the background, saying certain things are evil and that I need to repent. But that comes from a misunderstanding. That comes from a level of ignorance. And ignorance simply means not knowing. There are always going to be things out there that you're ignorant of, but you have the power to bring knowledge into your life and to lessen that level of ignorance. You guys remember those old cartoons where you'll have the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other one? One's whispering to you, telling you the good thing to do. The other is whispering something bad. But what was interesting in some of those cartoons, the angel and the devil looked like the main character. That's something that we have to recognize, that that symbol of Satan or the devil, there's some people who've used that symbol to put the blame on somebody else. But every evil or what we perceive to be evil action that's ever taken place in the world takes place because of a man or woman choosing to do evil, or choosing to listen to that devil. There's this book called Satan, an Autobiography, written by Yehuda Berg. And it's funny how I came across this book. I was in Barnes and Nobles one day and just browsing through the section, and I saw this book said Satan, an Autobiography. I was like, wonder what this is about. And you know, I guess it's like a certain level of understanding, because some people will see that and be like, oh, let me stay away from that. But I saw it and I was like, okay, what do they have to say? Then the back of the book says, do you know me? I am the adversary, and this is my story. I am that little voice within you that makes you doubt, including doubting my existence. I am depression, anger, jealousy, worry, fear, false pride, and selfish behavior. I thrive on neediness and disappointment, negativity, and cynicism. But here's a secret I'm revealing for the very first time. No matter how low I have caused you to go, you have the power to turn it around. Now, right from the start, from the back of this book, he's telling you, you have power within yourself. Like that symbol that they've put in front of you. Now they say a picture tells 1,000 words. Well, symbol is even more powerful. And that symbol is going to depend on what you know about that subject. Some people see some goat horns, they'll be like, oh, that's evil. But they'll see the golden arches of McDonald's and they'll turn right in. But those golden arches, that's a symbol for some very unhealthy food that has caused a lot of sickness and disease. It all just depends on your level of understanding. Now, to some people, they see the golden arches and it's like, oh, okay, I remember McDonald's, this was a good time. I used to go and get Happy Meals. They have good thoughts associated with it. But for those who understand nutrition and marketing, they know, okay, McDonald's, this is serving obesity up on a platter, or unhealthiness. One of the chapters in this book, I want to find it quickly so I can read it to you. I should have had this marked off. But anyway, long story short, what you call the devil, the original meaning of that word was the adversary, ha-Satan. And the adversary is anything that's going to cause you to stop being your best self. And a lot of times that's your ego. Ego. E-G-O. It's kind of funny to think that the ego and the devil are the same thing. But if you don't have your ego in check and you just let it run amok and you always listen to it, you're going to find yourself in some very low vibrational situations or in some trouble that you don't want to be in. And it's all about getting the ego in check. Because, we need our ego while we're down here. Your ego, in a sense, when it's working the right way, when you have control of it, it's keeping you safe from certain things. Like the ego says, maybe I shouldn't go skydiving, or maybe I shouldn't go bungee jumping because something can happen. But then you can overpower that thought and say, I'm going to do it anyway. Then you have this brand new experience. The ego likes to be right. It likes to work within safe confines. New ideas are scary to the ego because now it has to have a new thinking. If you think about the pushback that you perceive or that you get when you present a new idea to people, something they haven't thought about before, that's the ego talking. Because the ego is like, wait, this is something new I need to bring into the fold. And I don't necessarily want to do that because that means I'm going to have to do something different. And again, change can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Change can be exciting. And right now we are witnessing a change in the world. You can feel it. It's like we know things aren't going to go back to the way that they used to be. This whole Ye situation, calling out the people who control the media, all these bad deals that artists are getting, them profiting off of us, talking about deaf culture. Music is influential. What the musicians do, we tend to want to do ourselves. And if you think about it, you think about these young people who see the lifestyle that some of these rappers live. That looks like a whole lot of fun. It looks like it's a whole lot of fun to be Drake. I make music, I have all this money, I have all these women surrounding me. Or you look at the athletes. They go out and they play a game and get paid millions of dollars to do it. And they have thousands of women who want them. Sounds like a lot of fun. Why wouldn't you want to do that, right? Especially when we live in a society where it's run on money. And it seems to a lot of people that money is the ultimate thing. But really, self-mastery is the ultimate thing. Because once you master yourself, which will always be an ongoing process, everything else just falls into place. I'm thinking about the kind of athlete that Kyrie Irving is. Excellent at the game of basketball. And now Kyrie is getting knowledge of self. He's going to discover who he is. Where does he come from? And again, the influence that these athletes and entertainers have on us, the powers that be, the ones who've been getting over, they don't need us trying to discover, well, who are we exactly? Where do we come from? That's a scary thought to them because, like I said in my last video, you are powerful beyond measure. There are capabilities that you have that you just unaware of. A lot of these things come down to convincing your subconscious mind of something. And the three ways that you do that, you either use symbols, you use ritual, or you use trauma. These are the three things that will imprint on your subconscious mind that will affect change. One of the two. Looking at Kyrie Irving and Kanye. Right now, they're being vilified in the media. They're doing their best. They're doing like a ritualistic attack on these brothers to try to keep them in line and to show them the symbol. Like Kyrie and Ye are symbols right now to us, but also to other celebrities. They're being shown this is what happens if you do what we don't want you to do. But the brilliant thing is, the amazing thing is because Ye said this was going to happen. He said that you will be attacked, and we're seeing it play out. And now another thing that they'll do, symbolic, they'll send other athletes and entertainers to attack these brothers, the ones who look just like them. Because when you send somebody who looks like you to attack you, you can't say it's racism. Shannon Sharp came out there and spoke against Kyrie Irving. LeBron James came out and spoke against Kyrie Irving. And those two brothers faced some backlash. People saw what was going on. Like, how are you going to bash these brothers when they're trying to stand up for what's right? So now they're trying to backtrack. Shannon Sharp is saying, well, nah, they're asking too much of them now. LeBron James is saying the same thing. But it's too late. We've already seen past the game. You know, they use that money and influence to control you. Money has value because we think it's valuable. Think about that. It used to be where the dollar was backed by, you know, something that you can go and get. It used to be backed by gold or silver. You take a $20 bill or $100 bill in, so I want to exchange this for what it's worth. They'll give you that gold or silver. Can't do that nowadays. It's not backed by anything. It's backed by people's belief that this is what's going to make our society run. If I have enough of this, things will be all right. Everything will be better. It has value because we have faith in it. But what happens when that faith starts to get tricky? Or that faith starts to waver? Let's talk about the symbology of these politicians that we elect to represent us. That's a symbol. And what else is symbolic is the people's faith in that system. Uh-oh. They get nervous when we have low voter turnout because to them that's symbolizing, okay, these people they don't have as much faith in this system. They're not signing up to play this game anymore. But if you have massive voter turnout, to the powers that be, it's like, okay, things can proceed how we want them because, you know, they still have faith in it. But, you know, we're getting to the point to where, you know, we're asking for tangibles instead of just these symbolic gestures, these symbolic nothing burgers. We want something that we can hold, something tangible. If I vote for you, what am I going to get? How are you going to represent my best interests? There's another thing that's playing into this, discovering who we are. More people are going to start, more black people are going to be like, well, what's up with them reparations? We've seen other groups who suffered in this country get reparations, but no other group has gone through what we've gone through. So where's our money? They definitely don't want to give that up. Why? Because like I said, money runs a lot of things in this society. So you give black people money, you know, and we get left to our own devices, they don't know what happens after that. I predict if they ever did give us reparations, they'll collapse the dollar the next week. Be like, here, you niggas can have reparations. Surprise, the dollar has crashed, it's worthless now. I can see them doing that and having a laugh in the background as they try to put out another monetary system. But it's a game. Symbolically, they got to keep you playing that game so you don't recognize your own power. There's some, probably should have started with this, but there's some good books that I have in my library that's all about symbols. This one is called The Illustrated Signs and Symbols Sourcebook, an A to Z compendium of over 1,000 designs. Who's this by? Adele Nozedar. Adele, Adele Nozedar. I found this at Barnes & Noble. And maybe this is something that you can add to your library because these symbols, once you study them, you can start to put them to use for yourself. And then when you recognize them out in society, you can see or understand what those hidden messages are. So it says, the simpler the symbol, the more scope there is for interpretation, ergo the more meaningful it is, and paradoxically, the more complex it becomes. Think of a blank page. Before a mark is made upon the paper, the potential for what might appear there is so vast as to be unimaginable. a consideration which causes consternation for some artists and writers. Without this space, there is no arena for anything else to exist. This absence of anything means that no thing is the most important symbol in the world. Nothing is the most important symbol in the world. Now they say God is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the ending and everything. That nothingness becomes something when it's the only thing. So it's like, it's a paradox. It's something and nothing at the same time. It's ending and everything. Another powerful symbol is recognizing that if God exists in everything, when you look in the mirror, how can you not be looking at God? When you look out at nature, how can you not be seeing God? When you close your eyes and you dream, or when you close your eyes and see nothingness, blackness, how can that not be God? It all is God. That's a powerful concept to come across. And you know, the misinterpretation of symbols, it can lead to some trouble. You know, it shuts people off from learning that otherwise could have got to a different level. But you know, I guess it's just an example of how, you know, we come across information when we're ready for it. You know, certain things, if your spirit is telling you to stay away from this, or if your ego, or you can't overpower your ego and it's scary to you, you say, I don't know about that. Maybe it's not your time yet. But if there is some curiosity there, if there is something that's within you that's saying, I wonder what that means, go check it out. Because again, your mind is the most powerful thing that you have. Your mind is what makes all of this real. For something to have power over you, you first have to give that power away. You know, there's priests who go around, they perform exorcisms on people. Like they'll have the symbol of the cross, they'll have holy water, they'll say certain words to get that spirit or whatever it is out of that person. But, you know, there's never been a case of somebody being possessed by something who was an atheist. Because in their mind, that shit don't exist anyway. So how can it take over them? Oh, that's just make-believe, that's not real. Has no effect on them whatsoever. But once you start to know, maybe this is real. Oh, this is real. You can let something come and take control of your body. But all this stuff is just made up by your mind. It's all created by your mind. That symbol of the Baphomet, that was created by one person. And he had a reason for creating it that's been corrupted as time has gone along. Certain groups of people have come along and taken that symbol and, you know, corrupted it to mean something else. But, you know, that's the power of symbols. It can mean different things to different people. Think about the Confederate flag. You know, to a certain group of people, that represents Southern heritage, Southern pride. To a different group of people, they see that flag and say, oh, that's a racist. That represents slavery. But if you know how to understand symbols, and you know a little bit more about history, you can break that flag down and realize, wait a second, they got that from black people anyway. That flag was a representation of something else that a group of people took and used for their own devices. Because if you look at it, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 pyramids almost touching each other. And you see a band of stars in the sky. It's only one group of people on the planet who have a history of building pyramids. No other people. Anywhere you find pyramids or mounds on the planet, that means there was a black person who built it. That's a symbol. It's a powerful symbol too. You know, that's such a powerful symbol. They'll come up with an entire show called Ancient Aliens to say, well, we can't explain how it's done. We can't build it. So it must have been some aliens. Isn't that something? That symbol is so powerful They don't want you to recognize that symbol as being something that you're capable of doing. And something else that's amazing to me is just how long we've been on this planet. They have evidence of water erosion on the Sphinx, which is another symbol, and the pyramid. So at some point, they know the Sphinx and the Great Pyramid were underwater. Wow. How long ago was that? How many millions or trillions of years have we been on this planet for that to be underwater and for that water to recede? One of the things that I found amazing was when I found out that we live closer to Cleopatra, who lived in Egypt, than she did to the building of the pyramids. When Cleopatra was around, they had archaeologists already digging into the past, trying to understand those symbols, those monuments that were left behind. And those symbols, we left them behind for a reason, because we knew that we would look at them and it would spark something in us. All your experiences, everything that you do gets encoded into your DNA. That's the physical component of it. And then when you have a child with someone, all your experiences and all of her experiences gets passed along to that child. So that's the way that we better ourselves. Epigenetics, the study of how memories and experience are passed down through genetics. Now, what's so scary for certain people is that when God first chose to express himself down here in the physical, he chose to do so as a black man and a black woman. Think about all that experience that's passed down through the genetics winding up with you. And there's something also called the Akashic Records. All your experiences are written in the ethers as well. And you can access that. Nothing gets forgotten. Not for long. That knowledge of how we built pyramids, of how we got down here, you can tap into that. The Akashic Record is very real, and you have access to it. Now, there are certain people who would have you believe that, oh, that's not true. That's not the case. That's just something that's make-believe. Go find out for yourself. Go do your own research. Because as you learn more, as you experience more, you will really start to see, there's some things that's just not quite right about how our society is being run right now. And it doesn't have to take us being violent. You just got to stop participating. You can stop letting yourself being emotionally connected to this place to a certain degree, and it loses its power and its control over you. The symbol of America and of the government and of the world's government, they want to present that as being something that's strong, it's mighty, it's been here forever, and it's going to be here forever. But these things only work because of the people. It's the people who make these governments run. It's the people's belief in them that makes these governments and these world organizations run. My goal with this channel is for you to start discovering the power that you have within. Look within. Find God within. He's there. Your state of mind attributes a lot to, how successful or unsuccessful you will be in this life. If you're constantly stressed out, if you're constantly worried, that doesn't leave a lot of time for your mind to problem solve for you, because any problem has a solution. That's the beautiful thing about duality. If there is a problem, there must be a solution. And you're able to find those solutions or have those solutions come to you if you're able to put yourself in the right state of mind. My first ebook is coming out on my birthday. Free Your Mind to Have Peace of Mind. It's the title. And in that book, I'm going to give you some techniques on how to make sure you can keep your mind clear and at peace. That way, you can improve your life in any way that you choose to. I'm going to leave a link in my bio, or there'll be a link in the description of this video where you can get to the link tree and sign up for to receive notifications when that book or that ebook will drop. Free Your Mind to Have Peace of Mind. That's going to be my one of my offerings to the world. Because again, you are powerful, but you have to put yourself in that right mindset to activate that power. See, I have some notes here to make sure I don't forget anything. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll come at you again another time. My goal is to drop one of these once a week. I appreciate all of you watching. Comments too. The comments are always pretty hilarious to me. Because you know, there's people who will go out their way once they find something that they disagree with. They got to let you know that they disagree. And they got to find other people that disagree too. And you know, they can pile on and have a continuing conversation. Almost like that idea of strength in numbers. But there's power in being able to ignore things as well. I see something I don't like, most of the time I just ignore it. Go about my day. Wonderful thing about YouTube, if you're not paying for YouTube Premium, it's free. You don't have to pay attention. You know, if this message doesn't resonate with you, maybe it's not your time. Maybe I'm just not the messenger for you. But it is a waste of your time to sit there and argue in the comment section. Because I promise you, I watch them and laugh. But then I realize, you know, people are only coming from their level of understanding. So hopefully, you know, if you do see something that you disagree with, I can shed some light on some of those things and bring you to a higher awareness. Because, you know, as we learn, we grow, we evolve, things change. But there's always a progression. The me, you know, I think about myself and the changes I've gone through over the years. Like the version of me that walked into Albany State versus the version that walked out. Almost two completely different guys. Versus the version of me that freshly graduated from Albany State, trying to find his way. Versus the version of me now, it's just growth. You know, I had this idea of what college was going to be like when I first got to Albany State. You know, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to be about business. You know, these are college women that I'm dealing with now. They're going to like sophisticated men. I had a briefcase that I used to carry around campus. A briefcase. And my friends would, they would laugh at me about that. But that was me having an idea of what something was. And then I got in it, got immersed into it. And I said, oh, okay, I've experienced it. I know what it is now. Got to make sure this thing is still recording. But anyway, check me out on Instagram as well. My Instagram name is Pharaoh Ron Simmons. Pharaoh Ron Simmons. And I chose the name Pharaoh because the definition I found for it was that which you will become. You're always in a state of becoming. The version of you that woke up this morning is different from the version of you that's walking around now. You've had some experiences since then. Remember, you are powerful beyond measure. You're in a constant state of becoming. You're changing for the better. And your journey is your own. No one else can do it for you. No one else can walk it for you. And in the wise words of Michael Jackson, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Y'all be easy, and I'll talk to you another time. Peace.